Yo, how's everybody doing today? It's the Proof in the Pudding podcast show, and I'm your host. I go by the name of Sion919. I'm very excited about today's show. Very motivational woman, entrepreneur. She's doing big things, very inspiring. So, yo, without any further ado, yo, let's bring it to the stage. She goes by the name of P. Krishna, y'all. How you feeling?
Hello, everyone. First off, thank you so much for the platform.
No
I'm
problem.
feeling pretty good, actually. Like most days, I'm on my products.
Right.
But I'm going to talk a little bit about these life-changing products that I've been using since about November
Okay.
of 2020 in just a little bit. So I'm kind of going off script here.
Okay.
So I'm just going to begin with, where I was about maybe 6, 7 months ago,
Okay.
prior to partnering with Total Life Changes.
Right.
So I was in about a 2 year relationship um, with my ex, and we had been engaged for about a year, and
Okay.
we had just gotten married, like only 60 days that marriage lasted. And
Right.
technically, we never mailed in the paperwork, but I was in a space where, I knew I wasn't happy in my relationship.
Right.
Um, I knew I wasn't financially independent enough to, um, to dare, break it off and, go out on my own. Um,
Right.
I know that I wanted more out of life. He kind of, had an ideal for me to go back to school. Um, that's not something that, really interests me at this phase of my life. I tried college back in my early 20s.
Right.
And, I've just decided for what I want to do in life, I really don't need a college degree. So we were not on the same page as far as, having the mutual support. I supported him and,
Right.
his consulting business and everything like that. But whenever I came up with something that I wanted for me, beyond my, $13 an hour job,
Right.
there was no support. So I just had this burning, desire, like most nights where I just was feeling very unfulfilled. And that's when I came across a YouTube video
Right.
by Coach Stormy Wellington. And I don't know if you guys know her. She needs no introduction. For
Right.
most of us in these IG streets, she has over 1 million followers. And she made $1 million last month. Okay, we
Wow.
do make no income claims, but we had a similar background. So to back up a little bit, before I met my ex, we'll just say fiance,
All right.
um, I was involved in the adult business, and I
Okay.
had been involved in the adult business for a number of years. Maybe a decade of my life since I came to Atlanta.
Okay.
I was looking to get into modeling and acting, um, but I ended up, just because I came out with no money, no plan. I didn't know anyone. Um,
Right.
my only plan was to get hired at Magic City, which
Wow.
never happened, by the way.
Right.
Um, because the process was completely different. And I didn't even have money to get my adult entertainer's license. So
Wow.
eventually I did start at a strip club, and I did that on and off for maybe a period of my first few months in
Right.
Atlanta, and that led to other areas of the adult business. I'll just put it like this: if you name it, I've probably done it.
Wow.
From stripping to escorting to, sugar daddy life,
Right.
to adult films. Okay, so I don't know how many people know that, yeah, I have done adult film work in the past.
Nah,
And it
that,
did come back to bite me.
right.
If you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay.
So,
Now,
go
okay.
ahead.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
So it did come back to bite me. Yeah, I wanted to be a little bit more transparent with my
Right. No,
story today, since I'm on this, public platform of yours. And I
right.
see that you do a great job, but you really keep the consistency. Yeah, it's very admirable. So I've
Wow.
been waiting for my
Appreciate
opportunity to get on this platform and share my story.
you. Right.
So I just want to be as authentic as possible. So, some of my past decisions did come back to bite me the first time I got signed with a model talent agency, which was
Right.
about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I did get a little discouraged, and I tried to do it on my own for a little bit. Without representation, it was next to impossible to land a casting call or audition or anything like that. So I kind of gave up on that for, a number of years. Um, but now I'm kind of back in the acting space. I'm with John Casablanca.
Okay.
It's actually a acting modeling school. So
Right.
it's a 30-week commitment. Um, since I've been with Total Life Changes, it's just like I've been on a different frequency, from tapping into the morning meditation with Coach Stormy Wellington herself, who was also formerly a stripper. She had a 9th grade education. She was a former credit card scammer, and she's very open and transparent about that. And I like that about her. Right. So my goal is to kind of follow in her footsteps, because she's gone on to, achieve so much success. I don't want to, put numbers out there, but, I don't know if she's made like 30 million or something like that. Wow. Again, no income claims. So my goal is to kind of follow in her steps. And, that was really my why for joining the business, is because, I wanted to create a life that is fulfilling. I believe in manifesting and the law of attraction. I'm really into self-development. In fact, the first time I got exposed to network marketing, the information was just so new to me that I was so inspired, and I kept hearing these same universal success laws and principles over and over and over again. And I had always wanted to write a book, but I just didn't have the self-development. So I was inspired in 2015 to self-publish my first book. It is still available on Amazon, and it is called 6-Figure Mindset Coach. Change your philosophies, change your life. So it's basically 10 divinely inspired universal success principles that kind of play a role in the success or failure of any business. Okay, so I kind of put these 10 kind of core universal success principles together in my book that have helped me tremendously. And I also kind of tied them back to the Bible. So, I see the world and everything in it is very spiritual. Yes. And that book is available on Amazon.com. So back to this toxic relationship that was just getting progressively more toxic, even after, we went down the aisle and said our I do's. Right. Once I came across that video of Coach Stormy, I joined her meditation group. And I did try to get my ex to, join the business with me, to get on the meditations with me. We tried couples therapy and everything like that. And we just were not on the same frequency. Right. So, if you know anything about energy and frequency, because we were not in alignment, and I was kind of moving in a different direction, it was just a matter of time before that relationship would dissolve. So I took a leap of faith. I bought a car, or put a down payment on a car, because I was kind of trapped in that relationship because I didn't have transportation. Wow. So not even knowing where the money was coming from, I went ahead and got a car, and I left the next day. And that was November 14th. So I've checked in this hotel, this America's Extended Stay, where I've been able to stay, maintain, above water. And, I was able to manifest and attract true love. I have an amazing new, fiance, boyfriend, I don't know, future husband. He did get me a commitment ring on my birthday on, March 16th. And he's got us a condo in Buckhead that we actually just got the keys like a few days ago. So I'm finding, things have really just, turning around for me since I cut the toxic negative energy out of my life. I meditate now, I get up, I do my self-development. And I believe that I've just evolved to a much higher frequency that I was on, because I'm doing my inner work, and I believe that the outer will always reflect the inner, right? So let's get to these amazing products that I've been using since I joined the company. So first off and shout out to Jack Fallon, who's the founder of Total Life Changes. This was the original product, Nutriburst, and it just has so much goodness in it. And there's vitamins A, C, D, E, B12, calcium. It's got 19 amino acids. It's got 13 whole foods, including ginseng, wheatgrass, barley greens, chlorella, spiraling algae, just so much, guys. It's equivalent to eating 10 salads a day. So when you take this, you're going to feel a burst of energy, and it tastes great as well. And again, the ingredients are all natural, so it's safe for everyone in the house. So this is one of our best-selling products. And, The link on my Instagram bio is where you can purchase any of these products. So today I'm all about, I feel like I'm skipping something. Did I skip something?
I don't think you skipped nothing. Nah, not on
Oh,
that, because you've been actually taking that. I've been watching the videos and you've been showing the results of your
okay.
journey. So yeah,
Gotcha,
I'm
gotcha.
definitely
Okay.
interested. All right.
Okay, just a little nervous. I will make sure I'm not,
Nah,
because
you got
sometimes I'll go
relax.
back and I'll listen to a video and I'm like, oh, I jumped from one subject to the next and I completely
Yeah.
forgot something. So anywho, since being on these products, I've been able to go back vegan. I was on this journey of health and wellness even before I came across this company. And it was just that when I got with, my ex and the relationship was so toxic, I started eating meat again. I started smoking cigarettes again. I
Right.
started drinking alcohol every single day. So I've kind of, since, being in this different frequency with all these amazing people, I mean, our leadership is just amazing. The energy is just so positive and inspiring. I was
Right.
able to get off of those cigarettes. So I've been smoke free since, shortly after I left and within, maybe a few
Wow.
weeks. So we'll say since December.
Right.
So I was able to go back vegan. I was able to lose 26 pounds, guys, being on these products.
Wow.
And I wasn't even really trying to lose the weight. So
Right.
this product here is my absolute favorite. It's called NRG. So NRG has something in it called 5-HTP, which actually sends happy signals to the brain. So I was also, I've been diagnosed with depression, with bipolar, just being transparent.
Right.
So I was also suffer from social anxiety. And actually, since I was a child, I just didn't have a name for it. But it was
Wow.
in maybe the last 5 or 6 years that I was able to actually get diagnosed for the anxiety. And
Right.
since I've been on these products, I have been medication free. So I just stopped taking the medication when
Altogether.
so many positive changes, life changes since, being with this company.
Right.
This also is an appetite suppressant.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to control your hunger cravings. This also burns 300 to 600 pills. Each packet has 2 capsules in it. So each
Right.
one is going to burn 300 calories. So I gotten in the habit on my last job, which I quit, by the way. I was able to quit my job back in February, since just a few months of
Congratulations.
being in the company. And being on this, it helped me with, just the anxiety, the depression. Of course, our
Right.
disclaimer states that we make no claims to cure or mitigate any diseases.
Right.
But because of the 5-HTP in here, we have many testimonies of people that this has helped them tremendously with their depression. Okay, so it's just going to make you feel good. I also tend to be in a fog, and when I wake up in the morning without my coffee, so I don't reach for coffee anymore, or Red
Wow.
Bull, or Monster drink, 5.5
Right.
hour energy, all that unhealthy bullshit that I used to have to drink on the job just to stay awake to make it through my shift.
Right.
I'm able to just take one of these, or sometimes 2. The ingredients are natural, so you can take it as often as needed. And this is just my absolute favorite product. And again, guys, the link is in my bio. If you're looking for a natural source of energy, and if you say it fast, NRG, it's energy, it's natural, raw energy. Okay.
Wow.
So it also helps me, to maintain the clarity and the focus that I need as an entrepreneur.
Right.
Working from home, it's so easy to get distracted. So I definitely depend on this every day, guys. Moving on to, let's talk about our detox teas. Okay. So
Okay.
these are guaranteed everyone, and I mean everyone, money back guarantee. You're guaranteed to lose 5 pounds in 5 days. Okay.
Wow.
Money back guarantee. Okay,
Right.
so what the detox tea is going to do, it's going to cleanse your upper and lower intestines, your kidney, your colon, your liver. So everyone should be detoxing, by the way. If you've never detoxed before, especially in this age of, the pandemic and everything like that, you
Right.
should definitely be on a multivitamin, preferably a liquid multivitamin like Nutriburst, because it's going to hit your bloodstream much quicker, and it's going to be at a 98% absorption rate, as opposed to a pill or a capsule, which is just barely half
Right.
that, right? So a lot of other people who have just phenomenal testimonies about taking this detox tea, not only from having a smaller midsection, from losing weight, anywhere upwards of 20 to 50, 75 pounds. And again, it's best used with NRG. And we also have the resolution drops, which really help to suppress the appetite, but without the extra energy and, without the extra stuff. Okay. So I just ordered some of my resolution drops. They come in a little bottle like the Life Drops. So I'll be starting those really soon, guys. So we have the CBD infused flavors as well. So raspberry is a favorite when it comes to the flavor. So this is a broad spectrum hemp extract. So it has the CBD, which helps with my anxiety. Remember, I told you guys I stopped taking my anxiety medication. Well, it gives you just a sense of calm, and it helps to relieve stress. And also, I have insomnia a lot of nights, so I can drink like 4 sachets of the CBD tea, and it'll relax me, and I'll be asleep within 30 minutes. So it also clears up the skin. We have a lady in our company called Boss Lady, and she's one of the rich girls. She's one of the top income earners, and to see her before and after pictures, it's just amazing. I mean, she had blemishes and dark spots all over her face since she was a kid. She actually got bullied and teased for it, and even her lips had like purple and dark spots on it. Well, to see her face today, just from detoxing, and she also uses the Rejuve spray. And that's what I love about this company too. Like, I've never seen such innovation when it comes to health care products, health and wellness products. So this CBD face and body spray, it smells really good, and it just rejuvenates my skin. Like, I'll just, you can put it on your face. You can use it, as a makeup primer before you put your makeup on, or even as a setting spray to set your makeup. I totally use it for both. Okay. But this will clear up the skin. I've noticed that it brightens my complexion when I drink the CBD tea as well. And we also have the lemon flavor. I'm currently all out of my lemon flavor, but the lemon flavor is a very popular tea because it is full spectrum hemp. So it has CBD and a very trace amount of THC. Okay. So that's the difference. I just want to, so there's no confusion. The raspberry does not have THC. Okay. Did you have any questions about any of the products or?
Right there. Okay. I definitely have some questions about the products, but I have a couple questions for the end I'm going to save.
Okay.
But for the products, I know that you also use them. What are some of the results that you notice in your life since taking the products? What type of results are you seeing?
So as I said, I was able to transition off of meat, and I wasn't getting lightheaded and, the dizzy spells, like I want to faint, like previous times in the past when I've tried to go to vegan. And that's partially because of the Life Drops. I've been diagnosed with anemia with my first pregnancy. So that's a condition where you have low RBCs or red blood cell count, right? So it's going to make you feel tired all the time, very low energy, shortness of breath. When you try to work out, it's just, it's very difficult to work out. So, being anemic and trying to go vegan and not getting that source of B12, right, and B6 that we normally get from eating meat, I was able to like almost immediately wean myself off of the meat and the dairy. I have lost, like I said, 26 pounds. I'm a mother of 4. Okay. I'm a grandmother of 4. So I just need you guys to see, because seeing is believing. So I haven't started waist training or anything like that. So this is just, mother of 4, 43 years old, and I'm using the products. I try to work out. I don't work out perfectly. I try to eat healthy all the time, but I don't perfectly eat healthy all the time, but I also love this product, which is Blossoming. So I just did a post. Yes, this is for ladies. Even ladies over 40 will really benefit from this because of, menopause and things like that. I haven't reached I'm a woman over 40, but I have not reached like menopause or anything like that. But as far as like the night sweats and, things like that associated with menopause, this will help you with that. And also it helps to regulate you ladies' goddess cycle. So I love sharing this testimony. So all my life, I've had a 5 to 6 day, moon cycle, whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. Comes about every 28 days. And it's always been like 5 to 6 days from the first time. And I remember my best friend, she always had these 3-day cycles that I knew nothing about. And I just wondered, like, why were my cycles so long? Well, for the first time in my life, I had a 3-day cycle. Now, that may not be a big deal to you ladies, you lucky ladies that already have the 3-day cycles, or you know, you don't have the cycles at all. But that is like, that benefit alone, you know, going from, you know, literally 6 days to 3 days, like, I'm a believer. I have this on my smart chip, so I get this every 30 days to assure that I don't run out. And also, like PMS, normally I get really, you know, I don't want to use profanity, but you know, I can be a B, okay.
Right.
When I get my PMS, which usually happens the day before the first day of my cycle. I didn't even know my cycle was coming. Like, I had no mood swings yesterday. I had a great day, actually. You guys can go back and check out my timeline, and you know, my cycle actually came today, and I'm praying again for another 3-day cycle. So ladies, get your every woman's one a day. This link is also in my bio. And this is another new product that I just started on yesterday. Is the Affinity Oil. So this is emo oil. So I've just heard really phenomenal things about this. I've just started using it on my skin. You can use it on your face, your body, even to grow your you know, your hairline, your edges back, ladies. So you know, check in with me in 30 days so I can, you know, give you an honest review on how it's worked out for me. We have our essential oils line. I won't go into all of them, but my favorite is Guardian. You know, this is to help protect me from bad energy. My coach uses this as well every morning for meditation. And I also love frankincense because it's really helpful for deeper insights during meditation. Okay, so I think that might be all of the products. Oh, I didn't talk about my brownie matrix. So now I'm on a weight gain journey. I lost so much weight, guys, that I'm actually on a weight gain journey. So a couple of the products, I just ordered my Tachui. So my Tachui should be here any day now. Then I just want to show you guys the brownie mix. Excuse me. Okay. This was another one of my favorites. This is the Matrix. We do have it in vanilla, I believe. So it's just a protein powder, and it's vegan friendly, of course. So super, you know, beneficial for vegans who may not be getting enough protein in their diet. You know, so it's going to help with the muscle atrophy, which kind of happens. It's common in people who are not getting enough protein in their diet. You're going to get 21 grams of protein. And I prefer this. Sometimes I go to Smoothie King, but I know exactly like what's in this. And I like to use my coconut milk so that it's, you know, completely vegan. So this is a meal replacement. I get really full, actually, guys, when I drink a cup of this. So it helps me as I'm trying to gain weight, but in the right places, right? Because when we start eating the wrong stuff while we're trying to gain weight, like genetically, my weight will go here. So, you know, this, you know, along with, you know, working out daily, you know, trying to, you know, eat sensibly, this can help you with your weight gain journey. So feel free to follow my weight gain journey. I will be posting, you know, pics. You guys, most of you have seen them before. So I have had some gains. I started about 144 back in like November, like September, like when I started the company. And I dropped all the way down. My lowest was 118. And I think that I've gotten myself back up to about 124. So, yeah. So there's a Chewy. I'm going to be starting that just as soon as it gets here because, you know, I'm on a weight gain journey and I saw some really amazing results. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of any other results that I've had because there's just so many. I also love the Essential CBD soap, which I also just placed an order for. So that, you know, I use that to remove my makeup. It feels really refreshing. It has CBD. So there's a lot of benefits to CBD, guys. Like our industry, I mean, it taps into network marketing. It taps into CBD. You get free, drop shipping is included. So you don't have to store a bunch of inventory if you don't want to. Although, you know, you're able to break the products down and you can actually make more money when you do have products on hand. So I was just out in the field yesterday. You know, you can sell, you know, 5 for $25. You know, the Nutriburst, the same. You can do your 5 for $25 or 4 for $20, and you can make more money by having it on hand. But, you know, you do have drop shipping, which means that, you know, you don't have to store the product and ship it yourself. You know, you get a link to a free state-of-the-art website when you do sign up, so you're able to start getting paid right away.
Right.
So I briefly wanted to address the different ways of getting paid. Did I answer your questions about I haven't tried
Right.
all the products. They all sound so amazing, but I'm slowly trying. I try to talk about the products that I personally use.
Nah, that
So,
makes sense. That makes sense.
okay,
Yeah.
great. So let's see what I've learned. Okay, so the first way, of course, is retail. Um, so retail to recruit, is the method that we use. So most of the customers who fall in love with the products, if they're anything like me, um, they will see an opportunity for themselves to, earn an additional income.
Right.
And there's one thing that if, the pandemic hasn't taught us anything, even my ex was furloughed from his job, and I've just heard of, a lot of people that were laid off, furloughed. And I know from firsthand experience, my ex was furloughed from his job. So we should know that we need more than one, stream of income,
Definitely.
that we should not put all of our eggs in one basket, um, for sure. Okay. And another thing, um, there's no job security, and I talked about that in the intro of my book, Six Figure Mindset Coach. Um, so for me, I would rather work on my own dreams than, to go laboring for, someone else's dreams, because either you're working on your dreams or someone else's, and then there's no job security, and Robert Kiyosaki even talked about that fact, how, job security is an obsolete thing of the past. Okay. So income stream number one is retail. So when I sell one of these, I get a $20 commission. Okay.
Wow.
If I sell one of these, I get a $20 commission. Okay.
Right.
You guys get the idea? One bag of tea. So you sell 5 of these and that's $100. Okay.
Wow.
So what I'm doing now, what many of us are doing, we will set a goal. You $150 a day, and you go out in the field and you don't come home, you don't go to bed until you hit your goal. Okay.
Wow.
It's simple. Okay. Way number two, is fast start. So when you help other people get started in the business, when they join, you pay $50 plus one product. Okay.
Okay.
It has to be at least a $49 product. Okay. So someone starts the business and they start blossoming. Although most people start with the tea, okay, with our
Right.
best sellers. Like I started with the tea, the Nutriburst, and the NRG, and
Okay.
I have these on Smart Ship each and every month, so that I don't run out. Okay, so way number two is fast start. So whenever someone joins your business, okay, signs up under you, whatever products they purchase to get started, you're going
Right.
to get that $20 commission per product, per $50
Wow.
product. Okay.
Right.
Now let's see. Once you become binary is another pay where, depending on your rank, it goes from 12% all the way up to 25%. I believe at the global level, because you go from executive director to regional to national to global.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you get a percentage. Okay, and that's called binary pay, and you get that each and every week off the lesser leg of your business. Okay, so hopefully
Right.
that makes sense. Okay,
Right.
so normally people just focus on the first two, because if you can master retail, okay, your everything else will start to make
Fall in place.
sense. Okay,
Right. It'll fall
yeah,
in place.
right, right. So that was the first three ways, and then the fourth way is a check match. You get a 50% check match once you reach executive director. Okay, so of the first two levels of the people that you brought in the company, you get a 50% check match. Okay, and then the last one is very simple. It's just a $1,500 monthly lifestyle bonus that our founder Jack Fallon just decided, hey, because you rank advanced to the top, as long as you requalify each month, you get a $1,500 bonus on top of all of your other bonuses, commissions, and all the just amazing promotions that the company is always running. Like, for example, for the month of May, you will get $100 bonus, unlimited, for every 5 new customers that you sign up. Okay,
Right.
so yeah, residual income is definitely where it's at.
Right.
It's totally the residual income for me. So yeah, hopefully I wasn't too all over the place.
Nah, you're good. The thing is, you're giving good knowledge and information, And
Okay.
being like you said, there's so many different ways to make, you can make money. You can make
Right.
different ways from retail and recruiting different people and stuff like that.
Exactly.
In the beginning, how much time did it take for you to learn the actual process? How long did it take for you to get there?
I think that can vary, but speaking for me, like I was working a full-time job at the time, you know. I was, still having to, hustle, with my other side business,
Right.
because I was paying all this money for, hotel and car insurance. I just took on a new car note and everything like that. So I tried to plug into the 1,000 families. Okay, so I encourage you guys to go over to 1,000 families and 1,000 Black millionaires. So I probably say it took me 2 or 3 months
Okay.
to really start to get in the flow of it, because they told me right away, put your link tree up, right? So I encourage everyone who starts under me, first thing you do is you put your link tree up, the link on your bio, so that you can immediately start making money. But it is totally, totally up to you, because you do not, the thing is, Guy, that you don't have to know everything. You
Right.
don't, and I'm still learning, you know. We have a system, like I just mentioned, 1,000 1,000 families and 1,000 Black millionaires, where our 7-figure top income earners, they take time out of their, busy lives to come on each and every night between 8 p.m., 10 p.m. There's a different, one of our all-star leadership team that just give these really fire, amazing trainings and opportunity calls. So pretty much all you have to do, and this is the way our industry works, once you get your list of people, and that's what's great about our company, is you sample them, right? You give them a sample, right? And once people are able to experience the products for themselves and they fall in love with the products themselves, a simple follow-up can easily convert them into a paying customer. Okay.
Right.
So it is from our customer base that we actually get our signups. So we have a system called 10-5-2. This is what the leadership and everyone is doing. Of course, if you can do more, just depending on your work ethic, but you
Right.
can have a measure of success where you should be in the comma club making at least 1,000 a week if you're doing your 10-5-2. So 10-5-2 is you sample 10 new people each and every week, right? And then you get 5 new customers, okay, from those 10 people that you sample, right?
Right.
And then you get 2 signups per week. Okay, so it doesn't happen overnight, but when you start, implementing the 10-5-2 strategy, that's what I found. Someone who I may have talked to last week or the week before,
Right.
now they're ready to be a customer. Now they're ready to partner with me, right? So it's a simple system that we have in place. So you do not. That's the beautiful thing about our industry, is that you do not have to know everything. You have an upline. So someone who joins me, for example, they would call me, and I could get them. I could do a 3-way call with them, where I could answer any of the specific questions that they have. Or we promote each and every day, like I say, the 10 o'clock opportunity call on 1,000 Black millionaires. So we don't have to know everything.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Everybody's working together inside the company, and it's like you have an
Exactly.
upline that's going to show the people the way and help
Exactly.
you get situated. And then eventually that gets you out the nest, where now you can have calls and stuff like that on your own. So
Yeah. And I just reached out to, well, she reached out to me. There was a coach from another team, and she's working with me. And she reached out to another coach a little while back, and she wasn't even on this coach's team. And that coach, went ahead and helped her. So, we're all one big family here at Total Life Changes. The energy is just amazing. The products are amazing, and I think the closer that anybody looks at this company, the more they're gonna like what they see.
yeah, I definitely agree. And the thing about you is like, yo, I hear you, I see your videos and the seminars, like the business side. How
Right.
long did it take you on business period, retail, different things, even the mindset? How long did it take you? How long was your journey to learn that?
Wow. So my journey of self-development goes way back to, I want to say, maybe 2015, when
25th.
I first, came across, network marketing. And for the first time, I learned about the law of association, right? Where you and your 5 closest associations, the people closest to you, um, you're going to have about the same income, about the same level of influence, right?
Right.
You know, so being around successful people for the first time, just going to the meetings, right? Just staying plugged into, the training calls and things like that. Um, there started to become a shift, a paradigm shift, right?
Right.
Where suddenly I began to realize that, as my coach always says, that everything I need, to succeed is already within me. It's called self-development or self-education, right? It said that a formal education will make you a nice living. A self-education, um, trying to remember the quote, it will make you a fortune, right?
Right.
So they don't teach you self-development in school. They're never going
They
to
don't.
teach you this stuff. Law of attraction, right?
Right.
Think and Grow Rich. Most successful people, they're very familiar with that book. That book has been recommended to me. As a matter of fact, it was just recommended to me today. Classic by Napoleon Hill. This is what I mean by self-development. Getting up an hour early before you have to be to work or whatever you have to do, and read the books, listen to the audios, do your affirmations, do your meditation,
Right.
physical mastery, work out every day. So that journey for me started, what is this, 2021? So why don't we say maybe 8 years ago?
Wow.
So
Right.
self-development is going to be a huge part of, your success. And that's with anything, not just network marketing, but
Right.
network marketing really gives you an arena where you can ball as hard as you want as compared to a job.
Right.
You're going to hit a ceiling in most cases where that income is only going to go, I got a 25-cent raise at my last job,
Wow.
And they told me that I was the best worker on the team, so point being, it's not the right arena. It's not, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So a better vehicle is network marketing, right?
Right.
Where depending on how hard you go, it's unlimited. We get paid up to 20,000. Okay, if we want to put a cap on it, the company pays up to 20,000 a week, right? And we have 33 millionaires in our company. Well, we have 40 something, but under my coach Stormy,
Right.
The vision, by the way, is at 1,000 Black millionaires is for Coach to create 1,000 millionaires, and not necessarily Black, but she is a Black African American woman. But she explained that it doesn't necessarily mean Black, because we have Latinos, and other races, Caucasians in our company as well. But under this particular umbrella, that is her goal. So the fact that she's already created 33 millionaires, it tells you that the timing and positioning is right. We've barely even begun, haven't even scratched the surface. Totally looking for new stories, right?
Right.
Like, who's going to have that next compelling story, right? Transformation, dramatic weight loss, right? Improved skin, these homeless stories like Tammy Price. She inspired me because I slept in my car on a couple of occasions. She started off, before she joined Total Life Changes, she was sleeping in her car with her kids, and she hit, I believe, the 7-figure mark last year, right? Our most newest 7-figure earner was Jimmy Hepburn just a few months ago. So, some of these companies, it's like the same old people you see week after week after week. It's like, where are the new people, right?
Right.
Over here at Total Life Changes, just a few months ago, we just hit another 7-figure ring earner. Kaisha Nichelle, she just hit national director. Shout out to Kaisha, right? She was formerly a stripper as well, just as myself and my coach. So it doesn't really matter, what your background is, or what your past experience was, even in network marketing. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, right? And from a coach who had a 9th grade education, she was a teen mom, 14. I was a teen mom I was pregnant at 16, right? There's really no excuse when you look at a Stormy Wellington, right? And you see how she was able to overcome all obstacles, right? When statistics would have told you that, she'd be another welfare mom, so she's totally defied all the odds. And, that's, she's kind of like, I feel like the heartbeat of this company, and kind of what she showed me what is possible, right? Through
Right.
self-development and self-belief and, just doing the right actions, right?
Right. I definitely understand that. So now it's like you're around the right people. Your life is changing. You changed your world. It's like you didn't like where you were. You jumped out on faith. So let me ask you, you said something earlier. You was talking about your past. You was in the modeling and stuff like that. That industry. There's a lot of women
Mm-hmm.
that want to be models. They want to be dancers and stuff like that. Let's talk real quick from your experience. What advice would you give them about the dangers of that industry? Real quick.
About the dangers, no, it can be very dangerous, because you're saying just as far as dancing or the industry as a whole?
The whole industry.
As a whole, yeah.
It all ties
Well,
together.
I'll give you one of my low bottom, experiences. There was a time where I was actually, it was like a New Year's Eve. Um, a guy showed up, a client, never seen him before, hadn't screened this person, and I asked him if he would like a glass of wine, and he said sure. So as I turned my back to pour the glass of wine, I heard this clicking sound. So I turned around and there's a gun pointed right at my head. And he then proceeded to hold the gun on me where he raped me and he robbed me. I made like $1,500 that day. It was like one of my best days at that time. And I've been grinding literally all day trying to pay rent on the first for this very fancy corporate Buckhead apartment that was like $1,600 a week, like something crazy. I couldn't get an apartment in my name. Um, didn't have check stubs, didn't have credit. So I was going to pay $1,600 a week, at any cost. And been grinding all day. The guy pulls out the gun, rapes me, robs me, duct tapes me. He puts me in the bathtub. He duct tapes my mouth, my hands, my feet. And I thought that I was going to die. And I remember saying this prayer to the Most High that if He spared my life, which He always has, I've been in there's been many instances where I should not be here today. I do not look like what I've been through, the things that I've survived. I remember I promised Him that, I'd be done. I'd be out of the life. And, I really want to keep my word, So the guy did eventually get caught. Because he had been doing this like a serial, he was robbing other women.
Right.
And, he said it was a New Year's thing, whatever that meant. So I was just glad that, justice was served, that, they did catch the guy so he wasn't able to go on, robbing and violating, harming other women. But that's just one, story of many of the dangers of being in the life. You know what I mean?
I definitely understand.
That is my true why. The core of it is wanting to make that change and be an example and a light, to light the pathway for other women that might be in that dark place, that don't see a way out, that don't have an exit strategy from the life. I know what that's like. And I saw hope when I saw my coach's story. Maybe she wasn't in the life to the extent that I was, and then there was things that, I wasn't in the life to the extent where I've never robbed anyone, credit card scams and things like that. So we have our differences, but I chose to focus on the similarities. So she kind of served as a light of hope for me, and other women that were once in my situation. And as I say, I want to follow example and lead by example and show those women that there's a better way. There's a better way. You don't have to sell your soul for money. Let God give you your first million.
Right. You just said a powerful thing right there. So let me ask, what gave you the idea to write the book? You said that was in 2015, the Six-Figure Mindset. What inspired that book? Where were you in life that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna write a book?
I have been attempting to write a book, maybe for the past, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. When I shared my story with different ones, it was always the same reaction. Like, you've got to write a story. You've got to tell your story. You've got to write a book. And I agreed. And I would sit down to start. And I didn't have the self-development. See, with self-development, there's no limit. We are infinite potential. I truly know and believe that. I just didn't have the self-development. I didn't know that, you don't give up, just keep trying,
Right.
get up and try again, think positive, look for the gold, and I live by these philosophies today. Even in the most adverse situations, I say that everything always works out for me. And guess what? It always does. So once I started getting the self-development into the daily disciplines, and I knew that if, I went at it daily. And there was another writer who inspired me, who told me, he opened up my laptop and said, and he was not the first or the second, not even the third, but every author who I talked to for advice, they gave me the same advice. You just got to write. Just start writing. You just got to do it. Just write every day. And I just couldn't believe that it was that simple, So, I had a unique opportunity at the time because there was a new relationship that I got involved with, and the gentleman moved from Kentucky, and we were living together. So he was paying the bills. So I knew that I had a brief, maybe a 30-minute window to get this book done. Right? I was able to have a break, from the life and everything else. So I literally got up every morning, like 7, 8 a.m. when he went to work, and I would open up my laptop and I would just get to writing. And it was like days where I wanted to give up, like days where like entire paragraphs, pages, and just threw them away. And like, I had to go back and edit things and change things. And then I go back and, oh, this is just not good enough. Like, there was a lot of doubt there,
Right.
But what I did was I took a page out of Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, May He Rest in Power, where he starts begin with the ending in mind. And this is a concept that I actually talk about in my book. Wow. So I designed the cover of my book before I even started the book. And I would look at the finished, product, the cover of the book, as I would write each and every day. So wow. I was able to see and envision the book, on store shelves, people reading the book, people holding the book, me signing, autographs, of my book, and it was that vision, when you have clarity. I talk about clarity in my book, 6-Figure Mindset Coach. It's going to pull you closer to that vision when you have clarity, right?
Right.
Goes back, you can't hit a target you can't see. Well, anything that the mind can see, conceive, and believe, it truly can. It truly can achieve it, So right. I think that's what was motivating me as well. I think my coach says that vision pulls, purpose pushes. So that vision was pulling me closer to it each and every day. And I was actually able to finish it, my first edition, in 30 days, about 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, when you graduate in high school, did you ever envision yourself being where you are today? What was your plan? Graduate in high school, what was your plan? Because you said you were a parent, right?
I was pregnant with, when I went across the stage to get my diploma, I had one baby in my belly and my other baby on my hip. So my mom always reminds me of how powerful she thought that image was. She'll never forget that I went across that stage, baby and all, one in the belly and one on the hip. She said, but you got that diploma. You got that piece of paper,
Right.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
No, I said, what did you envision? What was your plan at that moment after you graduated?
Gotcha. I had to think back. So, because I was a single mom at the time, I think I was, I had this thing for cosmetology. I was in a 5-hour cosmetology block, and that's how I was able to graduate early, because I was pregnant my senior year, and I didn't need all the extra credits. So I had no plans on going to college because I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Right.
And my mom told me one day, my 6th grade teacher said that, I was an honor student. I was getting like A's, that, I was a perfect candidate for this Upward Bound program, for smart kids and things like that, to kind of prep them for college. And my mom shut that down right away and said that, Jehovah's Witnesses don't go to college. And that just stuck with me. So I never, I don't know if I saw, success or stuff. For some reason at a young age, and maybe that's where that came from, I wanted to be a stripper.
Right.
And I didn't see anything beyond it. I had no mentors, no positive role models or anything like that to look to. And then, I dealt with a lot of sexual trauma, being raped a couple of times, within, weeks apart,
Wow.
skipping school when I was like in the 8th grade.
Right.
Um, yeah. And then there were subsequent occasions where, I was violated, too much to drink, violated in my sleep. Um, where I think, like most women who end up in sex work or, the adult entertainment business,
Right.
the porn industry, we all have that common bond of the sexual trauma, being rape survivors and things like that.
Right.
So I think I saw myself just making a lot of money, in the adult business at a young age. And it
Right.
goes to show, without vision, the people perish. And I
Right.
had no vision because, I didn't have, I love my parents and everything like that, but they weren't the type of parents that, looked to me and looked to see what my gifts, what my talents were, and sought to encourage or, help me to develop those talents, into
Right.
skills. Or I just didn't have that, you know.
Right.
Um,
And I definitely
yeah.
understand. So let me
So.
ask you, without you giving up your personal business, at that age, who were you? Who was the girl? Because I'm pretty sure it's somebody that could be watching.
Mhm.
It's at that crossroads, and they may be dealing. You may see some of the signs that you've seen in yourself then, as they're watching, like these things you were dealing with inside in your mind. What advice would you give yourself now, being the woman that you've become, to her back then? This, graduated with all these thoughts in your mind. I'm going to make money. I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
What advice would you
I
give
would have.
yourself?
I would tell, knowing everything that I know now. I've learned that self love truly is the best love, and I never felt close to my dad. May he rest in peace. So a lot of times, they say we have daddy issues. A lot of times it said that we have daddy issues because daddy wasn't in the home.
Right.
Well, I think I'm an example of the opposite, where daddy was in the home, but daddy was very mean and always had a belt in his hand and was always yelling and cursing. So I was very fearful of my father. So I never had that. I wasn't daddy's little girl or anything like that. So I still think that I looked for love in all the wrong places and outside validation and things like that. Um, just never knowing that I was good enough, that I was pretty enough. Um, I remember having that thought throughout my childhood because, I had red hair, freckles, my brothers and sisters, just being kids, they would
Right.
say a lot of jokes about my hair being red and things like that. And, I couldn't understand why I was different. So I think I internalized a lot of that and, kind of carried some of that into my early adult years where I just didn't feel I was good enough or pretty enough. And I remember feeling like I just want to be beautiful, you know, if anything. I just wanted to be beautiful. I think that's the only real, you say, where did I see myself?
Right.
I think that's all I wanted. And
I
I
got
would, I would tell my former self that you are enough. You are enough. You don't need anybody's validation, you know, outside of yourself, you know.
Right.
And I had to learn God's love, because until we receive God's love, we don't have any love to give. We don't know what love is, because there's only one agape, truly unconditional love, and that comes from the Father, And
Right.
when I went through my phase of, just trying different religions, I went from Jehovah's Witness to Christians, non-denominational. I studied with the Muslims. I've studied a lot of Buddhist, religions and things like that. I was really searching. I became much of a seeker for truth and
Wow.
things like that. Um, but that's the main thing that I would tell myself is that the two things, that you're enough, and you know God loves you. You know.
Right. And that's powerful right there, because two of the things that I notice about you, you're very confident, you're very educated, you're always money motivated, and it's like you motivate others, so you inspire. So the reason I say that to say is, like, now I hear your story. And you're saying how you were looking for validation, or you were unsure about you.
Mm-hmm.
what you have manifested and become today. So it's like from your journey from then to now, you've come a long way and you conquered some of those fears, because like some of the things that you dealt with whether it was I'm not good enough, you're good enough now. So let's talk about looking back on your life, how far you come. How does it feel? I know it's only by God that you made it, but what's your thought looking back on the low times to where you are today?
Yeah, I've learned to slow down and enjoy the journey. Okay, I don't know if any of us can ever say that we fully arrived. I've learned a lot of life lessons, a lot of painful lessons. But I've learned, like I say, to always look for the gold, to have a, look for the silver lining in all situations of adversity, trauma, pain. And, I've learned that, if you don't know what your purpose is, we all have one, you find your pain and you find a purpose. So I look forward to platforms, opportunities like these where, I'm at a place now where I'm ready to be more transparent and authentic, about, who I am, where I've come from. But it's a journey. I'm a work in progress. I'll always be a work in progress. Um, but I've learned to enjoy the journey, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I have vision today, which is something that I didn't have back then. Because even when you asked me the question, it's like I had to ponder for a moment, where I saw myself. You know, I you know I guess I've never. There were points in my life, I've survived 4 suicide attempts where I was, rushed to the ER, swallowed a bunch of, pills and things like that. And there was a period of my life I didn't want to live. I
Wow.
just didn't, you know. I just felt it was too hard, you know.
Right.
But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I'm to a place now where I've learned that, looking back at some of the obstacles that I thought would, like getting my driver's license suspended for like, it took me 7, 8 years to get my driver's license back. And I
Wow.
remember I thought that I would never see the day where I would have keys and a car again.
Right.
When I first came to Atlanta, I was on a bus. I don't know how many people know that part of my story.
Wow.
But now it's like I can look back at these things that once were mountains and it's like a little molehill behind me. And I kind of, remind myself, from the past suicide attempts that, be it was over a guy or, just, feeling that sense of worthlessness, that it passes. Everything passes, and whatever you're going through, I don't know who this is for, but it too shall pass, you know. And there will come a day where you look back at something that was once a mountain in front of you, and you don't even know how you got over it, around it, under it, through it, over it, but it'll be a little molehill way back over your shoulder, a tiny speck in your past, right?
Wow. Wow. And that's real right there. So it's like, yo, from that, like you said, keep going.
Keep
And
going.
from the time from where you were, where your mountains in your lives, they're nothing now, because you've become a giant. You've outgrown the situations. And you're only going to continue to keep going further and further. So it's like not only are you an overcomer, but it's like you're victorious over the past, because like what people thought or what they may have labeled you, you're more than that. So you were saying you were in a relationship that grew apart. How important is it when you're the word I want to use is, it's kind of like you're putting others before yourself. You're with somebody. So it's like you have all these dreams, all these desires, but it's like you're putting it to the back burner for somebody else's happiness. What's the dangers in that? And what did you learn from your situation looking
It's a
back now?
great question. I've heard it said that, when people are on their deathbed, you know, reflecting back over their life, it's not the things that they did that they regret. They regret the things that they failed to do, you know, um, when they had the opportunity. And, this is something else I get from my coach, um, as well. Like, you have to identify your purpose, for one. But why are you here, right? Um, or your life is just, you're never going to have any sense of fulfillment, right? But being in that relationship, um, The danger of that was, for one, um, the arguing, that the language was turning violent,
Right.
with verbal, like, threats and physical violence and things like that. And I've also survived domestic violence, from a previous relationship. That person who put his hand on me, he eventually, he punched me in the face, and my nose was bleeding. I've never really been,
Wow.
just sucker punched in the face like that, and I just couldn't believe it. Um, I didn't have my dad to protect me. I didn't have my brothers to protect me. Um, but shortly after he did that, he died.
Wow.
He didn't wake up. Um,
Right.
there was drugs involved. I had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Geez, I'm thinking about the way that came out. But I've seen how toxic, how abusive, how deadly. I mean, the man, he held guns to my head, at
Wow.
different points in time. His jealousy and anger was out of control. So when I began to see signs of, um, abuse,
Right.
even though it was just beginning to be verbal, like, it's time to exit stage left, like, for this girl, because,
Right.
you know it's not that I didn't try counseling. It's not that I didn't try, you know submitting. It's not that I didn't try to, just to hang in there and, like, be the bigger person. But when you're dealing with someone you're totally just not in alignment with, you know, when that energy is just so toxic, it's no longer worth it, right?
Right.
Because, again, law of association. The people that you're closest to, be it a loved one, your, family, be it, there's no exceptions to this rule. Even if it's your spouse, I would never be in this space that I am right now, where I have peace, right? Where I'm
Right.
working on my goals and my dreams, right? And I'm serving others, and, engaging in a vision that's bigger than me, right? Um, Wake up, positive, optimistic about my day, and about, the lives that I may potentially have a chance to impact, right?
Right.
um, I would have never been able to get in that space, right?
Wow.
Being in a toxic relationship like that. And not only that, there's a lot of, I forget what, there's a wall of all the women that were, murdered
Right.
by gun violence. There's a lot of domestic abuse.
Right.
I don't just want to say our community, but, I'm speaking on our community. you
Right.
know and at some point, you have to have enough faith. you know um, as scary as it was for me, I knew ultimately, because of the things that God had saved me from before,
Right.
that He did not bring me this far, right? To give up on me now. That He has purposely allowed me to, exist in these very dark, dangerous spaces where my life could have ended, numerous times,
Right.
but He preserved me, right? And had His hand on my life and protected me the entire time, because I believe that He wanted me to live to tell it, you
Right.
know?
And not only from that, you're going to save a lot of other people from going through it by sharing your story. The thing is that I want to touch on, I don't want to hold you long. The thing is, it's like, okay, from the outside looking in, people, they see, a beautiful woman, she's successful, she's confident. They have no idea of the price that she had to pay to become who she is. Then on the other side, you have women, that's these beautiful women as well. And it's like, it was seen from the outside looking in. Like, they have all this stuff going on. But inside, they're looking for love. They want to be validated. They want it. But to somebody else, it's like, well, you have everything. For women like that, what advice would you give them? And what things have you learned throughout your life?
For women who appear to have everything, but inside they're
Right. Like, from the outside, they may be beautiful, this, that, and the third, but they're dealing with insecurities. They're dealing with, I want to be
right,
loved. They're dealing
right.
with, so they're
Again,
overcompensating.
gotcha. Again, it goes back to self love, right? And knowing that you're deserving, knowing that you're worthy, right? Knowing that abundance is our birthright, right? That we're deserving of every good thing that this world, that this universe has to offer us, right? But if we believe, because it's like, you know, the law of attraction, you know, if you believe that you're deserving of more, if you believe that you are worthy of love, right? Um, it's true, you know. But for the person who suffers, maybe not even on purpose, you know, self-esteem issues, and you know, feelings of unworthiness and not good enough, and you know, it's going to reflect, you know, it's going to show up, right? But you got to do the inner work, right? um, you got to be still and comfortable in your own skin and just sitting with self. You know, this is why I love meditation, you know, because it's an opportunity for us to unplug from the matrix, you know, social media, just from everything, and just to sit and be still, right? Where we can actually hear from God, or, you know, I believe, you know, just a higher extension or version of ourselves, our God self, right? Because many times the moment we sit still, you know, all of a sudden you hear the chatter, you hear the negative talk, right? But confronting it, right? Um, you know, again, through meditation and just being still, um, just learning to sit with self is so challenging, especially in this, you know, microwave society. Everything is fast, 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 right? We wake up and we grab our cell phones, and we're immediately, you know, on social media for hours at a time, or we're looking at TV. Um, you know, but how then do we take time to sit with ourselves, right? Um, and if you can become the type of person um, that can sit with self, be it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, um, you'll be able to confront um, those self-limiting um, subconscious beliefs that, you know, often subconscious, we're not really aware of them, but it affects, you know, everything about us, right? Every fiber of our being is affected by our subconscious thoughts and beliefs. Um, you know, have vision for your life, you know, find purpose through your pain, right?
Right.
You know, move from that space of being, you know, that hurt little girl or boy, right? Um, you know, and get mad, right? We stay stuck in a place where we're sad. No, get mad, meaning make a decision, right?
Wow.
To engage in something bigger than yourself. See, I learned this in my years of AA, that, you know, oftentimes, you know, drug addicts, alcohol, like the problem isn't the alcohol, it's not the drug, it is ourselves. Like, we are our own problem. And it's that we place ourselves at the center of the universe. And I found that just shifting, just getting outside of myself and going to look for just one person that I could help today, be it just, you know, calling and checking on someone, an old friend, or, you know, just doing something nice for someone, you know, taking your mom out to eat, you know, just getting outside of yourself, if that makes sense. When you remove yourself from the center of the universe, like all of the you know, because again, it's a purpose greater than yourself. When it's just me, you know, when it's just me and my ego and my self-centeredness, and, you know, my self-judgment and harsh criticism, when I'm thinking about me, like, that's when the insecurities, you know, are on 10, right? But when I remove myself from the center of the equation, from the center of the universe, and I look to, you know, serve or help someone else, which is why I love Total Life Changes, because I get to do all of that. You know, I get to help transform people's bodies, right? You know, whatever the health issue is that they have, you know. I get to help people that may be struggling financially, or they still have that, you know, corporate 9-to-5 plantation, you know, mentality, right? Where they're so dependent on the comfort of that 9-to-5 paycheck, you know. You know, just watching people blossom, and, you know, being the one to expose them to self-development, right? And getting on the path of self-mastery and personal growth, right? that gives me a sense of fulfillment.
Wow.
And I think
That,
that's truly why I do it.
that's very powerful right there. So looking back on your life, what's 5 of the most highest moments or the most moments that meant the most to you?
5 of the highest moments that meant the most. Okay. I would say giving birth,
Giving back.
becoming a mom, becoming a grandma,
Becoming a grandma.
this may sound silly, but getting my driver's license back after 8 years.
That's definitely
I, I had to get on a plane and go there in person. And when I showed up in person without a lawyer, like, I was suited up, said, you know what? I'm going to go in and appeal it. And when the moment I sat there and talked to him and he laid eyes on me, he says, okay, I'm going to put in, after looking at you and hearing from you, I'm going to put in a recommendation that you get your driver's license back. And I thought to myself, this is what I had to do the whole time. Like, all I had to do was show up, you know. But that was huge. Like when I got the letter in the mail,
Right.
8 years is a chunk of. It was a nice little chunk. I mean, I'm 43 years old. That was a nice little chunk of my life to be without a driver's license.
Right.
So yeah, I literally I cried because I realized, I had the power the whole time. Like I thought I had to spend thousands of dollars on a lawyer. I thought I did the work, of course, what was required of me,
Right.
and all I literally had to do was show up. Okay, so that was 3. Getting married, even though that relationship dissolved.
Right.
Those little girls, we fantasize, about, getting married. Maybe, I don't know if it was the engagement or the wedding, right?
Right.
And I don't have any resentment or, he who angers you controls you, as the saying goes, I believe that he who has loved is better than, it's better to have lived and loved than to have never loved at all.
Right.
And I can't speak for him, but I know that I loved, this person when I was with them. And that was something that I had completely given up on. I just didn't care if I was ever married. I didn't see it. I was ready to just be married to the money for the rest of my life. And, when he came along, that's when I got out. I got out of the life,
Wow.
And even though it didn't work out, I'm still a better person. And I can't remember if that was 4 or 5. And I would say, I feel like the highest point is coming. Since being in Total Life Changes, going to the Girl Hold My Hand conference at the end of March, just, a little over a month ago.
Right.
Just being in that energy, it was just electric. Like the whole weekend, it was just amazing. Just the energy of it. I would say that was one of my highlights since being in Total Life Changes. But I have a feeling like the best is yet to come. Like, I feel like I'm really just getting started. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting to hit Apprentice within the next couple of days. I'm just a couple of sales away. So, I know that's definitely going to be a highlight. But I feel once I hit Executive Director, I feel that that's going to be the highlight. I don't want to say of my life, but it's going to be up there, because this is, me allowing God to do it for me, as opposed to going out there and, risking my life and trying to do it my way,
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely. So, all right, you said something. I got 2 more questions because I know you got meetings and stuff.
Publishing my first book. Okay, that was one. Publishing my first book. That was a highlight too.
Okay. Yeah. So I got 2 more, and I'm gonna let you go because I know you got a busy day and all that. So I would ask you, in 2021, P. Krishna, his name came a long way. Mm-hmm. What is happiness to you? And then that's the first part. Maybe let's do that. I'll ask that one. Then when you finish, I'll ask the next one because I don't want to
Okay.
have you thinking about both.
Okay. Happiness. I feel happiness is an inside. It's an inside job. Um, Definitely. I know I've been guilty for whatever reason, just lack of knowledge or whatever, not being exposed to the right information. I've looked for happiness through external sources, drugs, alcohol, things of that nature. And, I feel that happiness can be fleeting at times. Um, Sometimes it's only in looking back, like when I went to Mexico, um, and I was with a group of other, yoga enthusiasts. We were all there, um, ready to become certified yoga teachers, and I did get certified. And this was in Mexico. It was my first time. I believe that was my first time leaving the country, and well, if you consider Mexico leaving the country, but first time flying international. And it was just a dynamic group of people from different races, just from all over the world. And it was just amazing. And it wasn't until, looking back, you know, looking back at it as a past memory, it was like, you know, it was such a happy, memorable experience that I'll never forget, right?
Wow.
It's all, even though happiness is an inside job, you know, I feel like it comes from a sense of belonging as well, a sense of community. Um, some of my happiest moments are not usually when I'm alone, but it's when I've somehow connected or, created a memorable experience, with other people, with other human beings, right?
Right.
But I feel like joy, peace,
Right.
that type of thing, you know, that's really the goal. That's really what I'm after,
Wow.
you know.
And that's a powerful thing right there. And it's like, yo, we definitely have to keep our peace by any means.
Yes, yes.
So the last question would be, you said when you was writing your book, you had looked at the title and it kind of inspired you in those moments. So it's like looking at the end first. It's like we're looking at the end and we're working towards that. So okay, if you were telling the story on your life and you're looking at the end and you're telling it back, who is P. Krishna?
P. Krishna, who was she?
If you're telling the story like how you wrote it, what's
Right, I
going to come
understand that.
to you?
You said who is she or who was she? Because
So
I'm
at
looking
that point,
back.
you're looking back, it would be who was she? But it's really who you're about to be. You're introducing this is who I am and this is where I'm going.
This is what dropped in my spirit. P. Krishna, most of her life, was a diamond in the rough. A rose in a thorn bush. Um, a lily of valleys. Um, the interesting thing about a lily of valleys, it's in the Bible, in the book of the Song of Solomon. So you have the lover and the beloved. They're exchanging love vows back and forth, and lover says to beloved, "Oh, you are this," and the other one says back, "You are my rose of Sharon," and beloved says back to the lover that you are a lily of valleys, and that caught my attention one time. So I went to look it up, and the unique thing about a lily of valleys is that this particular flower, it grows and thrives in deep, dark, difficult places. And that's called a lily of valleys.
Wow.
And I would say that I was very much a lily of valleys. But this is my season, is what I say today.
Right.
This is my turn, is what I say today.
Right.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper, is what I say today. Today, I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am the lender, not the borrower. I defy the odds. I set new standards. I am a champion. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am humble. I am strong. I will win.
Yeah. And I knew, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna let you go. I promise I'm gonna let you go. I remember I met you on Clubhouse, and I seen you in the room, and it was networking, and I followed you. It was like then, not knowing, I knew that you did the investments. You was doing seminars at the time, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It was like you used to do these motivation videos, where it's like you would motivate, you would talk about finances, but it would be things to the soul too. It would be self-improvement, but it also be some messages to the soul.
Right.
Around this time, when I get on Clubhouse, I was going through a depression. Right. So I'm trying to find my motivation. I'm trying to get motivated. Life, to throw a curveball, and I was in the slumps. And I remember I was seeing your videos, and you were motivating. You was telling about the company. You was talking about the six-figure mindset. I seen that on your profile. Okay. So I say that to say, now I start watching your videos. Then you start doing the lives. I start watching your lives. So it's like when you say, yo, I'm trying to help other people as well. I can truly say you kind of motivated me, because it's like where I was trying to figure it out. That was way before the Proof podcast and all this stuff. It's like I'm up there. I was an artist. I'm trying to figure it out. What do I need to do?
Right.
From listening to your videos, it motivated me to be like, okay, we talking about streams of income. It's like, yo, I need to set up some streams. I'm getting older. I got kids. My kids getting older. I want to leave a legacy. Right. So it was kind of those videos and meeting you and watching those videos. I was telling my friends, like, yo, is this female? She's dope when it comes to finances, and it's like they would have to see it. So like I couldn't justify. I couldn't do it justice the way you did it. So I'm trying to tell them, like, yo, she's dope, right? Yo, I need to check her. Yo, I appreciate it. So it's like
that makes me happy.
Yo, so when I started to Proof, that's why I wanted to bring you up here. And I'm like, yo, I want people when they watch that to feel that same experience.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate
you definitely did that. But I didn't know you were going to go deep into your story like that. But it's like I appreciate it, because I never would have knew that. Right. Looking at you, I never would have knew you've been through some of those things. I would have never known you've been in certain places that you've been. I would have never known you overcame certain things, because looking at you, it's kind of like, yo, it's like you're polished. It's like, yo, oh, she's come from the upside. But yo,
and that's the exact reason, I was working with a coach yesterday, and she told me, you have to tell your truth. Right. Don't worry about what anyone else, has to say. You have to tell your truth. So she kind of inspired me. Shout out to Coach June. To start, she wants me to start doing these late night after darks with Krishna, right. And just kind of, putting more of my truth and authenticity out there, right. And then just deleting the video. So you almost have to be live to catch it, right. But just as a way to start, embracing my truth and putting it out there, because sometimes you don't really appreciate, who a person is, or, what they've overcome, or, their greatness. You can never appreciate it until you know the depths from which they came. Right. So, as Joyce Myers always says, I may not be where I want to be, but I thank God I'm not where I used to be. I'm okay, and I'm on my way. And, there's still much work to be done. I still got a lot of growth and, other areas of improvement, that I'm definitely working on, but I ultimately aspire to get to a place where some of the most inspirational people to me, it's as if they live their life as if it's their last day, right? Just to do everything with purpose and, intention, right? So, I'm still, growing and evolving and becoming the best version of myself. And I know that as long as I don't give up, eventually I'll be her.
And it's definitely going to happen. And again, I'm going to put the link in the description. I'm going to add it later so that they can follow your page, because you got a lot of good things coming on. Do you still do the seminars or not as much? Do you have any seminars?
I had just taken a break because I'm trying to hit some rank advances in my company and build my team and things like that. Okay. And then I definitely am going to be coming back with the coaching.
Okay. So let me ask you, you rather me put the Linktree link on there or which one in the description?
Which site are you going to post it on?
It's going to be on the video, so it'll be on the YouTube and it'll be on Facebook. So in the description, I want to add a link to you so they can find you.
Yeah, the Linktree is fine. I use Linktree.
Okay. All right. So I'll put the follow at, and I will write that out, and then they can just click the Linktree and go to your
Great. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Diane.
I appreciate you, yo, and thank you again.
Have a great night.
All right, you too as well. All right.
Bye.